The political fallout from Janet Jackson's exposed breast during a performance at the Super Bowl in February, the country's most watched television event of the year, continues to change the landscape of broadcast media in America.
If you're watching this Super Bowl halftime show where Justin Timberlake rips off part of a woman's dress, I mean, could be viewed as advocating sexual assault.
Melissa Caldwell is with the Parents Television Council, a group that advocates decency in broadcasting. Over 200,000 people complained about the incident to the United States Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, sparking a government crackdown on obscenity that she says is long overdue.
They've had the authority to enforce the broadcast decency laws. They've had the mechanisms in place to enforce the broadcast decency laws. They just haven't had the desire to do it, to do their job. 93.7 BZZ.
The FCC is a government agency that allocates radio frequencies to broadcasters and regulates communication industries. Broadcasters are licensed to use the airwaves and must pledge to serve the public interest. While the FCC is prohibited from censoring program content, it is responsible for enforcing restrictions against obscenity, profanity, and indecency.
Brilliant.
Called to testify before the U.S. Congress about the Super Bowl incident, FCC Chairman Michael Powell voiced his frustration with the media.
But it is just the latest example, and what we've noted is a growing list of deplorable incidents on the nation's airwaves.
He also promised more stringent enforcement of decency standards. The FCC enforces its rules chiefly by fining offending broadcasters. The initial focus of this crackdown has been radio talk programs. Most notable has been the Howard Stern Show, a popular national adult-oriented program which mixes humor, politics, and topics of a graphic, sexual nature. Recently, the FCC fined Clear Channel Communications, which owns a number of affiliates, almost $500,000 for airing indecent content on Stern's show.
This is the most unbelievable thing what's going on, where people are being thrown off the air without a trial.
Clear Channel has since dropped the program. Other affiliates still carry the show, but are concerned that they, too, might be fined.
I never listened to Howard Stern. I don't like it. It offends me. I don't listen to it.
While no Howard Stern fan, Ann Chadovich with the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists is among many who work in the media and who see the FCC's actions as an assault on free speech.
What's interesting, though, is I don't know that he was particularly outrageous the day he was pulled. I do know that that day was the day he said he wasn't going to support President Bush in re-election.
Richard Kapler, an advocate for free speech with the Media Institute, says that by trying to prohibit offensive language, the government runs the risk of violating an individual's right to free speech, guaranteed by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
I think there's the danger when someone like Howard Stern combines political speech with maybe off-color speech. If you crack down on that, then you are cracking down on the political speech as well. And that is just outright pure censorship. That is exactly what the First Amendment was designed to protect against.
He says the best way for people to deal with offensive programs is to turn them off. But Melissa Caldwell says that argument is not good enough.
I think actually the Supreme Court had a good response to that line of argument, and it was in the 1978 Pacifica case, where they said, saying that if you don't like what's on TV, you can just change the channel. It's a little bit like saying, if somebody punches you in the face, the best response is to turn around and walk away. That's a perfectly adequate and appropriate response, but by the time you do that, the damage has already been done.
The U.S. Congress is siding with a majority of public opinion on this issue and currently drafting new legislation. If it passes, FCC fines could be increased and levied directly against artists who violate decency standards. Particularly in an election year, protecting children from offensive images and language is a more popular cause than defending a broadcaster's right to be vulgar. Brian Padden, VOA News.